Hi guys, in the last episode we converted this little wire controlled toy car to single channel toy grade radio control. I say single channel because we were only controlling the forwards backwards, and this particular receiver from my junk pile is faulty anyway, and only the steering output worked, so we were using the steering output to do the forwards backwards. So now we're going to go to the next stage, take it apart again, and somewhere here, yep, I've got a hobby grade receiver, 3 channel. So we're going to modify it, make that steering work properly, put a little servo on there, and we'll have a hobby grade controlled car. Desolder the wires I've got on the motor at the moment, so this one can go back in the junk pile. Right, steering. At the moment it only goes one way because that little lump of plastic there can't travel all the way along there because they've just put a short slot on it. Purpose for that is when it goes forwards it's straight, when it goes backwards it slops across and the car turns in reverse. I need to open that up right the way across there so that it can turn both ways. Right, we've got full motion now. Now we need to sort out how we're going to get a servo in there to actually do the turn. Alright, we're a bit pushed for space. Unless I start taking the seats out, I can't put the servo just there. Well, it is certainly not ideal, but I've hacked the bodywork around so I can put the servo in that way round. So I'll hot glue that in place, and then we'll have to have a linkage from there to about here somewhere. That's going to push it side to side. Not quite what I wanted, but well, it'll have to do. I've drilled a hole straight up through the middle with that bit of plastic. I've got a bent paper clip through there, which is going to be my connecting rod or push rod. So I'll stick that back in there and then bend this to link up with the servo arm. Progress. We have steering. Now we have to see if we can squeeze the receiver and the ESC in there And I'll use a small LiPo, that one, which will probably fit where the original battery box is. Well, we're almost there, but we have a problem. I've got the servo, I've got the ESC in there, I've got the motor wired up, but it doesn't matter where I try and stick the receiver, there just isn't enough room underneath to get it in there. Even if I jam it right up close to the motor there, which is the least, the last place you want to stick it, right next to the electric motor, but there just isn't enough room to get that in there. It just doesn't fit. So I'm going to have to put the receiver in the back seat there. That's the only place I can get it. Disappointed because I've got everything else in there. Well, it's all up together. Receiver sitting in the back seat, like I said, and it all works. But there is a problem, and I'm going to have to take it apart again. What I didn't notice when I was putting it together was there's a spring tensioner on one of the front wheels. That one spins all right, that one doesn't spin because there's a spring on the inside holding it tight. Now that's to help it do the reverse steering, but we don't need that, so I'm going to have to take it apart so I can get the tensioner off that wheel so it can spin normally. That's the spring I'm talking about. That's tensioning the wheel and stopping it spinning. There we are. That's got it out the way. So now the wheel can spin freely. Time for a test drive. We're down in the kitchen. The dishwasher's on, so there's a fair bit of background noise. Got the car. Got the hobby grade transmitter. Switch it on. Okay. Forwards backwards works. Steering works. The wheels or the tyres are fairly plasticky, they're not very grippy, so we'll probably get a bit of sliding around here. Try the other way. Definitely a bit slippery. That'll do.